Social shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. I mean, like, we can pull that clown shit away. This some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse of only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Good morning, people. Good morning, man. Hope everybody is blessed. Welcome back to the channel. We're back with another match reaction. Carabao Cup quarter final, Southampton versus Liverpool. This was for a place in the semi-final, the last four of the Carabao Cup, the EFL Cup, the Worthington Cup, the Mickey Mouse Cup, the Coca-Cola Cup, whatever the hell you want to call it. That's what we're playing. That's what we're doing at this current moment in time. Guys, make sure you do smash the like, share, and subscribe. All of that good stuff. We won't be here for a long time. Obviously, as I mentioned, of course, last night, Liverpool defeated Southampton 2-1. A very youthful Liverpool, might I add. If we look at the lineup that Liverpool Arne Slot obviously chose, of course, Arne Slot was suspended for this game due to his accumulation of yellow cards. Luckily, it was just for this game and this game only, so he will be back for that Spurs game at the weekend, alongside, I think, Andrew Robertson as well. So we'll have them both back, meaning more players, and etc. etc. Now, obviously, looking at the game, before the game, quite a lot of people spoke, in regards to what they would like to see, what kind of players they wanted to see play. We heard quite a lot as well, from the reports that was obviously coming out in terms of, academy players who may play or starting lineup, being the squad, and, all of that kind of good stuff. And obviously, we saw a couple of those. Of course, you guys can, you can see the lineup here. You can also see Arne Slot spoke before in his press conference about the game. And, he spoke about, maybe certain player or two, or maybe some players just playing in a position that we might not expect them, to actually play in. So that was kind of not a shock, but it was like, okay, fairs. This is interesting. This is very, very interesting to see. And of course, we saw that there with Endo. It's got him here as a centre back, but it was kind of like Liverpool played in this kind of back three. When we started the game, Trent playing as almost like a right-sided. It was weird. It was like kind of playing as like a right-sided centre back, but then he would invert into midfield, kind of still doing his right back thing. Then you had Joe Gomez, obviously, kind of also doing that as well, but more down the left-hand side. And then, sometimes, if Endo would then, creep into that kind of inverted center back. I don't even know what you call it, but because you're already in the center, right? So how can you invert? But he would then move into the, into the midfield, and then we kind of just had a back two, of Gomez and Kwanzaa at times. Gakpo potentially started to fill in a little bit down that left-hand side. So yeah, it was very interesting, and obviously it was a bit of an experiment. And listen, if you're going to do an experiment, this is the kind of game that you're going to want to do it in the first place. Against Southampton, a team that's obviously, lacking confidence, contrary to what Harvey Elliott said after the game. But, a team lacking in confidence, good footballing team, but yeah, they're lacking in that confidence, not really, sitting at the bottom of the Premier League, just at their manager as well. We've obviously got a tough run of games, coming up, congested fixture list. All of these things, injuries, players coming back, there's a lot going on. So this is the type of game where you can probably afford win or lose. It doesn't really matter. It's just more about can we rest some players, so the Van Dijks, the Virgils of this world, can players like that, the Ryan Gravenberches, the Szoboszlais, the Curtis Jones, all of these guys, they all get rest, which is really, really good for us moving forward, especially heading into that Spurs game at the weekend. And also with the fact that Spurs are playing this evening against Manchester United. So, who knows what kind of lineup they're going to obviously want to put out. They're going to be a team who, just like us, they're going to want to win, the competition. So, yeah, it probably serves us better, being able to kind of mix and match the team as it is, especially because you are facing, Southampton as well. So it puts us in, better stead, than everybody else. But, in regards to like the game, Yeah, listen, look, first off, I thought Liverpool were good. I thought they, big up the gaffer, JJ. I was chatting to him at half time. We were just, rapping about, in terms of like how the game's kind of going. And, we felt that Liverpool were kind of playing in like neutral, to be honest with you, neutral slash maybe first gear. Maybe it's a 20-mile road. Maybe like all the roads in flipping London. It was like a 20-mile road. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, it was one of the 20-mile-per-hour roads. So it was kind of like, okay, Fairs, yeah, popping the ball about. Liverpool got their goal. Darwin Núñez obviously getting on the score sheet. Harvey Elliott as well getting on the score sheet in the game. Yeah, it was just one of those kind of games, man, honestly. But then the second half, that's when it did start to get, it was quite a poor performance, which is weird because usually it's first half poor, second half really good. This time it was the other way around. First half good, second half it was quite poor from Liverpool in a general sense. Why? I don't know. Is it because of the shape that we were kind of playing? Is it because it was quite new to some of the players? Southampton almost felt like they had kind of just said, you know what? F this, we're just going to go at it and, kind of see, where it kind of takes us and stuff like that. But yeah, that was the kind of vibe, that I kind of got. Endo, obviously been a lot of conversations about Endo, especially in recent weeks as well. More so probably in recent weeks, obviously because he's not playing. It kind of ramped up a lot. I felt anyway in the last couple of weeks. In terms of quite people like myself as well, maybe start, slots and maybe use him a little bit more. Do you know what I mean? And we saw him in a centre back position. And I didn't do a preview for the game, but I did say, in ENDZ's preview, I had Endo playing at centre back, and I thought, yeah, why not though? Do you know what I mean? Like, why can't he play centre back? In terms of, having that player there who is obviously he's not going to play as a centre back, i.e. Kanate, Van Dijk, in terms of they're just going to stay there. Those two are not as comfortable on the ball as he is, as an example. He's going to be more comfortable than, give or take, most centre backs anyway, because he's a midfielder by trade, and he is actually, okay on the ball. He's okay enough for you to be like, okay, if I needed to do a certain, few bits and bobs. Of course, he's not to the level of other players, but he's good enough for you to do what you need him to do in these kind of moments, right? And I felt like, his positioning and all that other kind of stuff, he was calm. Like, honestly, I just felt like he was so calm, in the game. Didn't feel there was, I mean, maybe a few times, yeah, I would say a few. When I say a few, I probably mean a couple more than anything, where I was like, ooh, okay, bad pass, or ooh, just out of position. But that was about it. I really can't think of too many times I looked at Endo and thought, really, really poor performance or whatever. Honestly, I thought he was genuinely calm in the game. And of course, he got smashed. The ball got smashed in his face as well for the Southampton goal, which was kind of peak, but it's a good thing he does wear that gum shield and that, so he was good to, really, really good to go. But yeah, Endo, I thought he was calm. Elliott, he was someone else, of course, starting the game, getting himself a goal, good goal, right-footed finish, to take a deflection. Both goals actually that we scored, I thought were quite lucky to go in. But listen, you got to be there in the right positions. It was a well taken shot anyway, to be honest, with his weaker foot, and I feel like he's got that in his locker. I feel like he when he gets into those kind of positions nowadays, anyway, it seems like, obviously prior to his injury, it seemed like he was getting into those positions quite a lot, and maybe he's working on his right foot, which is good, by the way, because us left footers, we do not like. Salah is shit on his right foot. It's, as a left footer, the only way I can explain it is like it's more of a reaction when you take a shot with your right foot. Sometimes, like, the ball has to be in like a certain position in order for you to take that shot, kind of thing. Whether it's like I'm on the run and I'm on the stretch, and it's weird. I don't know. Right footers with left footers, not all of them, but most of them, when they take left footed shots, it looks a bit more like, oh, okay, cool. Obviously, it's their weaker foot, but sometimes it's like, oh, okay, cool. You've been able to, I don't know, your technique in terms of the way you shoot. But us left footers, we're just left-footed, isn't it? Like, we don't really like using our right foot. It's just one of those. Whereas right-footers, I always feel like they always want to be able to use their left foot. Like, and I just think it's just purely a thing of you're just hating on the fact that you're not left-footed, and being left-footed is probably the coolest thing you can be out there. As we know, the best player in our generation is left-footed. So, just one of those things, man. But listen, I felt overall, again, another calm performance, coming back from injury. Good that he was able to start the game as well. Yeah, honestly, look, absolutely fine in there. I know people say, oh, should he start the next game? No, you shouldn't start the next game. Back on the bench, get your minutes back in as well. Let's get your fitness levels up to a certain kind of level as well, and then we can keep pushing. And then after that, once we, we're back in a good kind of, area for him, a good kind of stage, then maybe he would have a chance to start games, in the future. But right now, it's really good that he's got the minutes that he got last night, and then of course we can keep it pushing. Another player, that I thought was really good, or calm, was Trey. I thought Trey was decent, man. I thought Trey was decent in the game. First start for Liverpool, to my knowledge. Yep, first start for Liverpool. Honestly, played 86 minutes in the game. Played 86 minutes, calm in there with Tyler Morton playing almost in that kind of double pivot. His was more like if the others were calm, he was just maybe a tad bit below that, but it was just more, he wasn't really doing too much, but that in itself, again, the guy's super duper young. Do you know what I mean? So it was just the fact that getting nice touches on the ball, making sure you're in the right positioning. Of course, listen, strength-wise, he's quite weak, but he's good on the ball and he's quite good off the ball as well. He seems like, from the way he's being produced anyway, he seems like one of those guys that, and I'm not saying he's going to be at this level because that's, crazy level. But like a Busquets, they're not the strongest players that you ever see. They're not like, oh my days, this guy, he's a bull in that midfield. No. What Busquets was so good was that he was so good on and off the ball. Little touches, positioning, awareness, all of that kind of stuff. Trey reminds me of someone who's going to almost turn into that mold, not that player, but that mold of a player where everything is just nice little touches, in and around corners and stuff like that. It seems like if he can build his game, I would tell him, and again, who am I to tell him, but I would tell him, yo, build your game around like that type of player, that type of mold. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Because he's got passing as well. We've seen him in the academies and under 21s, 18s and stuff like that. He can get himself a goal or two as well. So I'm looking at it thinking, you know what, Trey, you can mold your game on that. Obviously, I don't know what your positioning would look like in a future Liverpool team. Again, it would just depend on the formation. But in a midfield, if you were to play in like a double pivot / a base of a midfield, I feel like you could do that role kind of calm, and we're not going to be too fast. Almost like a Gravenberch. Gravenberch isn't the strongest person in the world, but he's good. He's good on the ball. He's good, off the ball. He's got the movement. He's got the awareness. He's got the touches. You can be that type of player, and I think he can mold himself, into that type of individual. Maybe mold your game around Ryan Gravenberch. Maybe that's a better player to use instead of Busquets, an all-timer, type of player. But listen, man, like I said, I just felt calm performance from Liverpool. Yes, second half could have been a lot better, started to make mistakes and stuff like that. But listen, overall, it was just one of those kind of games. We're through to the next round of the Carabao Cup. You already know, I don't really care, to be honest, whether we win, lose, or draw these kind of fixtures. These are one of those, all right, you get through, perfect. Then you can worry about it. Then if you lose, okay, cool, whatever. And then we move on to the next game kind of thing. Same way. This is the kind of way that, I'm seeing it anyway. Obviously, we saw a couple of like the fringe / academy kind of players coming in. Obviously, Jayden Danns was able to come, on the field, which was pretty good for Jayden Danns. Obviously, we got to see Chiesa as well, which was again good as well for him to get, a bit of minutes in his legs as well. We saw a bit of rustiness, but it's good for him to get those minutes now, and then we can kind of keep it pushing and keep it moving forward. And as I said, this is the type of game in which you can afford to do those kind of things anyway. So yeah, man, all in all, listen, happy that we progressed. Happy that a couple guys got a couple minutes and stuff like that. There wasn't really anything else, to be honest with you, in terms of, the game in itself. Obviously, I looked at the bench and I saw the players who didn't come on: Yaros, Nalo, James Norris, and Rio Ungoma. Man, that would have been real interesting if he had come on the pitch. But I think he couldn't have come on, not in the situation that we were in. Nah, you don't bring him on 2-1. Do you know what I mean? I think he wanted to bring him on if the game was like 2-0 and they don't look like scoring, or 3-4. You know what I mean? Something a bit more comfortable. You don't want to bring him on in pressurized moments, and it's like, it might be a little bit bad for his own development. But it was good that he was able to make the bench. It's really, really good. So let's wait and see on someone like Rio, and then we can, of course, take it from there. Let me know in the comment section who do you think was played well in the game. Who are you interested to see Anyone impress you? And also, who do you guys want to face in the next round of the Carabao Cup? Guys, I'll see you guys soon. We'll be back potentially for the preview of the Tottenham game. So yeah, make sure you stay locked in, stay tuned, and I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.